Hi everyone, Inat Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to make a really fun pop-up cube card. You have all the measurements and the cutting guide in the description under the video. This card is really cool and easy to make. So I'm using my trimmer and a bone folder, but you can use a scoreboard instead to score our 3 strips of paper that we will need to make our 3D pop-up cube. So we're going to start scoring our strips of cardstock. This is solid color cardstock, and we're going to score it at 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7. We're going to score all 3 cardstock strips exactly the same way. And again, like I said, I'm using my trimmer and bone folder, but you can use a scoreboard instead. If you don't have a scoreboard, you can just measure it and work on a soft surface and use a ruler and a bone folder to score your strips. So again, 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7. What we're doing is basically scoring our cardstock strips to make the cubes. We need 3 cubes to make our pop-up element standing in the center of the card. So let's finish with the scoring. This is actually a really easy card to make, but it has a really fun and great effect, and it's really good for basically any occasion, holiday, or event that you can think of. All depends on the colors that you use, the pattern papers, and the sentiment that you add. Once you finish scoring, fold on all the score lines and burnish them really well with your bone folder. We need everything to be really accurate for the pop-up to work. So just make sure you burnish everything completely, all the score lines, and then I'll show you how to glue everything together. Okay, and the last strip of paper, and it doesn't really matter to what direction you fold your paper. I know some people are really stickler about these things, but no, you can just fold it in any direction. Okay, next we're going to close each of our paper strips. You see that you have 4 identical size squares and 1 square, or it's actually a rectangle, which is slightly smaller. So this is going to be the tab that we apply the glue on and attach under the first square. This will make a cube, and we're going to repeat that on the other strips as well. So always apply your glue to the smallest tab and then attach it underneath the first rectangle or square on the other side of the strip, and this will give you a cube. I like to use liquid glue because it allows me to wiggle the paper to position and really align everything and make sure everything is accurate. But if you like using dry glue, like a double-sided tape instead, that's completely up to you. You can do that. So now we're going to attach the 2 smaller cubes to the larger cube. We're going to put 1 cube on each side like this, and then this will be our cube pop-up. So apply glue to the smaller cube, preferably the side that you don't want to be in the front, the side that you attached the cube in to begin with. And then attach it to the bottom right side of the tall cube. And of course, you can flatten the cube. It will be easier to attach the smaller cube this way. And then you do the exact same thing with the other cube. However, I got confused with the directions. Sorry about that. The opening of the cube needs not to be on the top, but on the side like this. So you attach the cubes, the smaller cubes, while the top is flat and the hole faces the side like this. This is the right way. Sorry about that, you guys. So just let me make sure that it's glued properly. I want to add a little bit of glue and then attach it the right way. So you see that the opening faces the sides. So I'm flattening everything, making sure it's all aligned. And this is how our pop-up will look. This is the way. Next, we can go ahead and start covering our pop-up with the pattern papers that we pre-cut in advance. And you can use any type of pattern here, whatever fits your theme. You can mix and match patterns and colors. You can leave it blank. You can do whatever you want at this stage to make the card exactly the way you want it to look and fit the person that's going to receive it, as well as the event or occasion that you're making it for. The papers are less important. What's more important is the technique. So whatever papers you have in your stash, you can use them. I'm using a pattern paper that is designed by a friend of mine, and I've listed in the supply list a paper collection that is really similar, so you can use that or whatever you have in your stash and you want to use. You see that for the cover papers we don't need a lot of paper, so it's a really good opportunity to use any scraps that you have or smaller pieces that you have that you want to use. So I have covered the front of the card. It's really easy to work when you flatten everything. And I also want to cover the inside of the smaller cubes. So their inside is their back side here. It's going to be visible, so I want to cover that as well. So I'm just inserting that, and again I'm using liquid glue so I can wiggle everything to position and make sure it's aligned and that it's straight. Okay, so now it's covered. If you want, you can also cover the inside of the taller cube, but I'm going to leave it like that. I like the teal color, but that's up to you. You can do that if you want. It's the same size of pattern paper. So this is our cube. This is going to be the pop-up element that is going to pop up when we open the card. Next, we're going to take our card base, fold it in half, and then burnish well the fold. I'm using, this is not double-sided cardstock, as you can see, so I want to cover the inside as well. I gave you the measurements, but if you're using a double-sided cardstock, then you won't have to cover the inside. You can leave it uncovered. That's again up to you how you want to design the card. So I'm just covering the two sides of the card on the inside with my cover papers. Again, using liquid glue so I can align everything and make sure it's completely straight. And then I'll show you how to attach the pop-up cube to the card. And then our card will be ready. Okay, so what we're going to do is start this is how it's going to go, like this. Aligned in the center, we're going to start with applying glue to the bottom of the right smaller cube. Again, use liquid glue, it's the best, I think. And then we're going to attach it to the center of the card, aligning it with the center score line and the top of the card. So you need all the cubes to be open like this, and you need the corners of the center taller cube to align perfectly with the center of the card with the score line. So just wiggle it into position until you are completely sure it's aligned, like this. And then fold the top cube to the bottom like this, and then move everything to the side like this. I'm going to show you again how to fold it. The top cube goes to the bottom, and then everything folds to the right like this. And then you apply glue to this part here, which is the bottom of the left smaller cube. And then what you simply need is to close the card, let it dry, and then open the card and see the magic of your pop-up cube. Isn't this fun? I really like this card. It's really cool. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects, including this really fun pop-up cube card. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.